Today on Around Town, we'll head to the Slavic Village neighborhood for the groundbreaking of Phase 2 of the new Trailside. Then we'll travel to the Old Brooklyn neighborhood for the ribbon cutting of the new Loew Park.
Open-minded people.
The spirit of innovation.
Passion.
Action.
Rock and roll.
Cleveland.
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 Cleveland. Cleveland.
We are Cleveland.
We are Cleveland!
It takes less than 1 minute to find out if you may have prediabetes. You can do it here. But you probably won't. You're busy. Kids, work, show coming back in 48 seconds. So let's do this now. Hold up one finger if you're a man, women, 0. 3 more fingers if you're over 60, 2 over 50, 1 over 40. If you're not sure, keep in mind you're sitting on a couch right now, so 1 more finger if you're not very active. 1 finger if yes, 0 if no. 1 yes, 0 no. Next, find the body type that looks most like you and hold up that many fingers while I look around awkwardly. And that's it. If you're holding up 5 fingers or more, you probably have prediabetes. Sorry to be so blunt, but hey, you're busy. Just go to the site.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you to the weather for not raining yet. My name is Sharon Posner, and I'm one of many of the Third Federal Associates that have worked really hard on Trailside over the years, and we're really excited for this day. But this day could not have happened without the continuous support of Third Federal and the hard work of many individuals, community organizations, and departments within the city of Cleveland. You'll be hearing from some of those people today. Several people are not speaking today, and we wanted to give them a very special thank you. Our builder for Phase 2, Bo Knez, has been with us every step of the way. He's provided thoughtful and very candid guidance, design expertise, marketing advice, and ongoing assistance from his truly amazing team. We appreciate the whole team, and we really look forward to continuing to work with you. The next group is who really makes this whole project worthwhile. Our current homeowners have taken a development of 10 homes and turned it into a neighborhood. Their commitment to Trailside and to embracing Slavic Village as their community has built a strong foundation for the future residents of Trailside. So thank you to our homeowners. The City of Cleveland has partnered with Third Federal from the inception of Trailside. Projects like these require patience, persistence, vision, and the funding to make that vision a reality. We greatly appreciate all these ways in which the City of Cleveland has helped us and supported Trailside. It is my pleasure to introduce Mayor Framechek.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And how are you today? Good, good. You know, I appreciate you letting me go first. I appreciate it. And I say that because I really don't deserve to be first. Of all the people here, I probably, other than being mayor, I probably had the least work to put into this. It's really about Slavic Village, the councilman and Third Federal, and the work that they put into making this happen. Not only this phase, but the first phase. So I really appreciate you letting me speak first. Well, you know, this Trailside is a very unique development. I can remember in phase one when we did the groundbreaking then, it was right in the midst of a recession. And it was, Third Federal was the only one that at that time was willing to take a risk in the middle of a recession to commit to the financing of new home construction and ownerships. When we look at the councilman, we look at Slavic Village Development Corporation, you have a very diverse community in terms of opportunities. Last week we did the ribbon cutting on 37 tax credit homes. We had phase one here, and now we have phase two. There are many different opportunities and ways that you can live and afford to live in the Slavic Village community. So again, I want to congratulate everyone that was involved, but in particular, I want to thank the councilman and Slavic Village and Mr. Stefanski from Third Federal for doing those things that really allow for things like this to happen, to create that partnership when it wasn't necessarily in their business interest to do it, but they did it anyway. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. It is said that without a sense of caring, there can be no sense of community. Mark Stefanski is someone who knows firsthand the connection between caring and community because he lives it on a daily basis. Mark's parents, Ben and Jerome Stefanski, founded Third Federal on their honeymoon in 1938. Mark succeeded his father as chairman and chief executive officer in 1987. Through his years as chairman and CEO, Mark Stefanski has led Third Federal with the belief that the role of a company goes beyond making a profit, that it also has a social responsibility to make the world a better place. That vision has enhanced the lives of customers and associates and enriched the communities Third Federal supports. Today's groundbreaking for Phase 2 of Trailside is no exception. Please welcome to the podium our chairman and CEO, Mark Stefanski.
Thanks very much, and welcome everyone. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the kind words and being able to be here today. My comments are going to be brief, and some of you may have heard some of these things before. But there's an interesting fact I'd like to share with you, too. You know, 100 years ago, it was common for everyone to ride a horse, and only the elite would have a car. And isn't it funny that now it's common for everyone to have a car and only the elite have horses? Anyway, you know, my parents started this place 80 years ago, long before most all of you were born. Maybe there's a few that are close, but it goes, our commitment, the Stefanski commitment to this neighborhood goes way, way back into the 1890s when my grandparents first settled here. And back then, when you settled somewhere, you brought with you other people from the community, and you brought the church with you, and you built your own church, and you had your own little grocery store and that. So it was a different kind of community than what we might see today. And back then, and I've mentioned this before, but it's worth repeating, you know, my grandfather was a Teamster. And back then, when the Teamsters did work, they did a lot of different work. They just didn't drive carts or that. They delivered bricks, and they delivered beer, and they did all kinds of different odd jobs just to stay alive. And back then, at the turn of that century, the community was growing, and they needed basements, because all these homes on Fleet Avenue didn't have basements. So my grandfather got all these men together, and they would put the houses on stilts and dig the basements by hand and then drop the house right on the new basement. So literally, my family is responsible for the foundation of this neighborhood. So I didn't want to ruin the family tradition of committing back to the neighborhood. But honestly, you know, a corporation's commitment is much bigger than just making money. And I equate the corporation making money to a person breathing air, in that we all need to breathe air to survive, which means that a company needs to make money to survive. But as human beings, we just don't breathe air. We have another purpose. And same thing with a corporation. A social responsibility is a big deal. And I challenge any corporation not to fulfill that mission, because without that commitment to things other than just making money, we don't have communities. We don't have opportunities for people who might not, in other cases, have opportunities. So I'd like to say thank you for coming here. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for the kind words and for not gumming up the works, because you said you didn't do much. But the fact that you didn't gum up the works and make it more difficult actually makes it better. So anyway, we're friends, John. Don't worry about it. Anyway, thank you all for coming today, and it's my pleasure to be able to cut the ribbon with all these distinguished folks here in a few minutes.
Thank you, Mark. Ward 12 Councilman Tony Brancatelli is known to most of you. If you live in the neighborhood, if you've worked with the neighborhood, you know him. He's known for his commitment and dedication to this community, and he has shown that same commitment and dedication to building Trailside. He's always been a great cheerleader and has been a pleasure to work with. Please welcome Councilman Tony Brancatelli.
Thank you very much, and it is an exciting day. I just came back from City Year. They have a new class of some 60-some students that are going to be out here working in our neighborhoods, and it's really exciting. And I think this is what this development really is. It's about our future. It's about the new generations coming in, and that's what we have to look to. We have to see where we came from. It's great that the Stefanski family came here in the late 1800s. Not Mark, he's not that old yet, but it was really okay, you might think he's that old, but he's not. But it really is, I'm a second-generation immigrant. My family came here in the early 1900s. But really is about families. It's about these young children. It's about how we're changing the face of our neighborhoods. And we were really rocked by the foreclosure crisis. And as the mayor pointed out, it took a lot of challenge to be able to break ground during the recession. It took a lot of challenge to say, I want to put that much patient capital into these kind of developments. And likewise, the mayor may not take a lot of credit, but the city has finite resources. We have to be very specific about how we invest and how strategic we are. And the mayor says that often. We want to be able to invest where there's an impact and where it's going to have an impact throughout all the neighborhood. And here's a great example of that through the Slavic Village Green Homes, Neighbors Invest in Broadway, Slavic Village Recovery, all the different tools that can provide housing and stabilize a neighborhood that in 2007 led the nation in foreclosures. And we were losing 2 houses a day. We see what's going on in our schools, and we have a great foundation like Third Federal who has stepped up and said, we want to invest in the P16 initiative. We want to invest in children because we know that's a critically important part of what's going on in our communities. When we look just down the street and see the Boys and Girls Club and the impact that they're having, and we have a wonderful high school like Central Catholic, we have the Washington Park Environmental School. It's amazing to see all the different things that are happening in a community that many people left for dead after the foreclosure crisis. What we're surviving from is nothing more than miraculous. It's amazing to see everybody who is really stepping up, and I can't say enough about what Third Federal has done in terms of their commitment, not just in mortgages, but into places like this, into the children, into our neighborhoods. And it really is wonderful to see so many of your associates out at every event that's going on. They're not forced to be at these events, not that I know of. They're not forced to be at these events, but they're participating in the Pierogi Dash. They're participating in any number of the events that are going on within our community because they're part of our community. And that's a testament to your leadership. That's a testament to what Third Federal was founded on, was our sense of community. And that's what we have to do. That's what these developments do. They're rebuilding a sense of community, reestablishing the social fabric of our neighborhoods. And that is so critically important today, is to bring people back together and really see how a neighborhood can rally together and really can come back from being left for dead. And we're really excited to be part of it. I'm excited to be part of it. And I know that Sharon was constantly calling to make sure that the next step was going to happen, and having people who can push us to that next step. It's really a pleasure to work with you and a pleasure to be able to be here today to see such another step in a recovery of our neighborhood. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. Director Maness is the Director of Community Development for the City of Cleveland. While she was somewhat new to the project, she got up to speed very quickly, and her influence on Trailside has been enormous. She's really helped get us over the finish line. We can't thank her and her whole team of her department enough. Every one of you has worked to help us get this project where it is today. Thank you so much for the support that you provided, and we look forward to continuing the partnership. Director?
Good afternoon. I'm so pleased to be here as Trailside represents everything that we're trying to achieve in community development. Partnership with the CDC, Slavic Village Corporation, lending and investment from our banking partners, Third Federal, and equity from the developer, Knez Homes, where the city's assistance fills the gap that allows a project to move forward, continuing the revitalization and transformation of Slavic Village. Providing neighbors for the first 10 homeowners is so important because that's really what you need to build community and a product that's attracting new residents to the city of Cleveland. Community and economic development is all about connecting the dots that other people don't see. It's about collaboration, vision, and probably most importantly, patience to see a neighborhood come together. Because it doesn't come together despite that sense that it happens really quickly. Oh, all of a sudden, this is a great neighborhood. No, it's 40 and 50 years of people showing up every day. And that's what, in community development, we plan to continue to do. I really commend City Council and our administration, our mayor, for their willingness to pilot this program, where we are providing construction grant financing in order to allow us to build new homes in neighborhoods where we are still trying to bring the appraisal numbers back up. These homes are the key to building a middle market in our communities. We have traditionally worked very hard and very well to build low-income housing in communities, and now we're starting to see a really great market on the high end. But neighborhoods are built for families, for the middle income, and this is a great way to start down that trajectory for Cleveland, and I really commend all of you for taking this first step. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. So we've mentioned many of our Third Federal partners today, but thank you, Tony, always helping. But Slavic Village Development is really more like family than a partner. Slavic Village Development has strongly supported Trailside since day one. They've shared their expertise, their resources, their connections, and their experiences with us to help make Trailside what it is. Please welcome Marlene Wesleyan, Slavic Village Development.
Hi, thank you all. I'm really pleased to be representing Slavic Village Development today. Our director is biking up from Cincinnati as part of Velisano to raise money for cancer. And so I'm here in his place. But I'd like to just say that we are extremely grateful to be part of this team. As everyone has said, this has been a process that's been going on for over 8 to 10 years. And it started when this site here was nothing but industrial buildings and the dream of new housing. And the fact that Third Federal was willing to take that risk and make that commitment to be the first to build brand new market rate houses here was something that the community will be forever grateful for, because it started us also on a road to looking at different types of opportunities, some of which the councilman mentioned, that we also champion and spearhead as Neighbors Invest in Broadway, people who can buy homes and put their sweat equity into it. The CHN Green Homes that people just mentioned that we just held a ribbon cutting for. And of course, Slavic Village Recovery, where we're rehabbing a lot of those foreclosed homes, the homes that we could save. And unfortunately, we couldn't save them all. So this is part of a process that really creates an opportunity for anyone who comes to Slavic Village to say, you know, I can can come here and do sweat equity. I can come here and buy a new home. I can buy a rehabbed home. And they can be part of our family and part of our community. And I have lived and worked in Slavic Village now for over 30 years. And I am blessed to be part of a community that is so resilient, and that people who care and come together whenever there's an opportunity to celebrate, whenever there is an issue that people need to come together and express their concerns, people come together in this community, and they are resilient, and we don't give up. So we're thankful again to be part of this project. We're looking forward to the next phase, and with that, I thank you.
So that concludes our speaking portion of our program today, but we're going to throw around a little dirt back here in celebration of starting our next phase. So if the speakers will join me over by the pile of dirt, along with Bo Kness and our council president, and also the Soders, our very first homeowners at Trailside.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'll say it one more time. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, thank you. My name is Kim Johnson, and I'm the Assistant Director for the Department of Public Works. On behalf of Mayor Frank Jackson, who could not be here with us, along with Michael Cox, who's the Director for the Department of Public Works, I bring you greetings. And thank you, everyone. This is a fantastic turnout. We thank you all for coming out and joining us as we have the official ribbon cutting ceremony for Loew Park. Today we come to celebrate the improvements made to this beautiful park in Cleveland's Old Brooklyn neighborhood. The improvements focused on enhanced areas for athletics, play, parking, and overall community accessibility. At this time, I will introduce Council President Kevin J. Kelly, who has the pleasure of serving this neighborhood and who has been involved with this project since groundbreaking. He will describe for you some of the details of the improvements. Please welcome Council President Kevin J. Kelly.
Thank you, Kim. Good morning, everybody. What is this for? Oh, come on, we don't need an umbrella. We got a beautiful day for this beautiful event. And for all those parents that have been involved for years and all those families that have been involved in this league for years, thank you. I want to let you know that the conditions of these fields, we heard you loud and clear. We understand that there shouldn't be a pond in the outfield every spring. We understand that our kids are playing on this. We don't want our kids being injured when they're doing such a positive, healthy thing for our community. And your city has heard you and made the investments. We were closed last year as we dug up the outfields to put in the drainage system, and hopefully we will not have those spring ponds that we saw in the outfields, which stopped play. Hopefully we're not going to have puddles on the infield this year. Hopefully this is going to be the park that you all deserve for the time that you put into this. The walking path gets tremendous use. The students at William Cullen Bryant use it to train for their cross country and track. They're running in the We Run This City tomorrow morning. And they practice here, and there's just a tremendous amount of activity. Those of you who have young children, I hope you've noticed the improvements to the play area, the spinning area, the new pavilion, and everything that's happening in that area of the park. That will be used again beginning June 12th for Cleveland Summer Cinema, where our opening movie will be Black Panther. So I encourage everybody to come to that. It'll be just right to the east side of the park here. That being said, I'm very happy to be here today. The spring has been difficult. It's been very rainy, but I'm glad we have this beautiful day today, and we're here to celebrate the completion of this project. We understand Field 5 still has some work to do. We're going to get that done. But we've invested, we've heard you, we've invested, we've tried to make this the best park that it can be for you and your families, but without you, it's really just grass and dirt and some concrete and some metal. It's really the families of Old Brooklyn, the families of Obal that breathe life into this park and make it the community asset that it is. So I want to just take a minute to thank all of the organizers, Jim and Lori, and everybody who's involved in organizing Obal. I want to thank the coaches. I want to thank the parents. I understand that, I have kids, and I know that, having a kid in a sport is a commitment. And it's a parent commitment too, and it's not easy, and you've got to get people places, and you've got to manage the deck when you've got multiple kids that have to be multiple places. I appreciate that. It's important for our community that we have parents like you that are committed like you. It's important that we have the families that keep Obal going year after year as strong as it is, the coaches, the families, the parents, and of course the kids. And I don't anticipate that they're really listening to me back there, and I wouldn't expect them to, because my kids certainly wouldn't. But to the extent that they are, my only message to the kids is enjoy this time, enjoy this park, always listen to your parents, always listen to the coaches, and never swing at the first pitch. So with that, I want to thank everybody. Thank you, Kim. Thanks the city. Thank you, Jim. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, everybody in the Obal organization and the OBYL organization for keeping this a live, vital part of this community. So with that, Kim.
Before we cut the ribbon, we want to also acknowledge and thank those that worked on this project, the contractor, R.J. Platten Contracting, Inc., and Michael McAndrew, who is the Senior Landscape Architect for the Mayor's Office of Capital Projects in the Division of Architect and Site Development. We also want to thank Isha Hand, our Special Events Manager, Commissioner Silva, who's the Commissioner of the Division of Park Maintenance, and their team, and also all of our special events folks that work together so diligently to make this event happen for you. So without further ado, we're going to ask Jim and Lori, Council President, to come forward so that we can cut the ribbon. Count 3.